Welcome, Egg Food. What? The first and only podcast about people eating stuff. I'm Mike Lisk.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Egg Foo. What? Young Michael, did I notice? Is that the first time you've tried to say Egg Foo what correctly in weeks? And I feel like you said I'm Mike Lisk as if you were asking a question. What's going on, buddy?
No,
Uncle Greggy.
I'm trying to meet your standards for the intro.
Oh, come on, Mike. Come on.
The Mike
That's not fair
Lisk
for
is.
you.
I'm trying to make it sound like I'm a newsman in the field.
Hey, what?
I'm Mike Lisk.
You're a newsman?
Yeah, a newsman.
Newsman.
A newsbee.
Newsman.
Yeah. A newsman.
Ice cream man.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, your first draft of trying to be a newsman, spotty.
Spotty. Okay, I'll work on it.
We'll work on it. We got all summer, bro.
Work on it. I saw a big box on my porch stoop the other day. I'm like, oh, Greg is so nice.
Oh God, here we go.
He's finally, broken down and acknowledged the grieving process I'm going through.
You think so?
He sent me a sympathy basket.
Oh,
Harry and David, which is the fine products that Tom Sharpling sent.
Mm-hmm.
He actually sent me two.
Wow.
A cookie sympathy basket and a cheese and wine basket. Fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
So this one was a large box. I'm like, Greg, he did not hold anything back.
Nope.
He wanted to acknowledge his co-hosts.
Right.
Grief. He knows that grief has no time limits. It's not a timeline.
No.
Everybody is different.
Grief clings.
Yes, it clings.
Like a t-shirt to me on a hot summer day.
So I'm already smiling as I pick up this basket.
Oh, Michael.
Lo and behold, it's from Forever Dog Productions, the producers of The Best Show and all of its various offshoots.
Mm-hmm.
And this basket was fantastic. Cheese, crackers, summer sausage, which is something I don't think I've ever had. How about you, Greg?
Summer sausage.
Summer sausage.
Don't tell me when I can eat my sausage.
Exactly.
Excuse me.
Yeah.
Do you have Wednesday sausage?
There was some really sweet items in here. Baklava, really dense and sweet. And then there was something called mini chocolate decadence. This thing was like a very large brownie. It had the consistency of almost like a fusion of cake and fudge. It was dense. And I'm like, I look at the back, they always try to fool you with how many calories something is. So for this large brownie, it was 150 calories per serving. Guess how many servings they claim this large brownie was?
36.
12. Well.
So 12, how much was it per serving?
So it was an 1,800 calorie item.
$1,800 worth of brownie.
1,800 calories of brownie. So, and the thing is, you couldn't eat it like a brownie. It was dense. And as I'm eating this thing, I'm thinking, what are other foods that are so dense you really can't eat much of it? Does anything come to mind for you?
Well, first of all, let me address the elephant in the room.
Okay.
At this point, I have to say it feels like these people are trying to stick it to me and make me look bad in my efforts to double down and continue to not get you something for your grief. But if they're going to push me to escalate, I will. Now, I'd like to think I can do a little better than cheese and crackers, pushing a button on Amazon. Hey, did your friend's father die? Push this button and you'll never have to think of it again. If that is pleasing to you, if that eases your grief, knowing that your friends, end quotes, could not think less of you, then by all means enjoy the basket of crackers and cheese. And from what I can tell, is a literal ticking time bomb of a brownie that I guess they want you to eat and then drop dead. So, but if they would push me, I will be pushed. But for now, standing firm on my policy of no sympathy, no mercy, no gifts. And I forgot what you asked me. Oh, dense foods.
Dense food, something that's like so dense that really it just kind of knocks you off. I mean, you can't really eat fudge in quantity. I mean, you're usually good for like a couple and you're done, right?
Yeah, well, they have in my office, like on Wednesdays or something, they have, oh, come down and get cookies. And those things are like solid bricks of, sugar. I mean,
Yeah.
they're great, but after like a bite, you're like, oh my God, like you can feel the heft of it.
Yeah.
Like I can feel the heft of weight on my shoulders now, knowing I'm letting down my grieving friend. It's that dense. So
never too late.
what's a more dense food than a tightly packed cookie?
Yeah, and I didn't mention the heft of this thing. It was hefty. It was like you said, it felt like a brick.
Well, was it as heavy as your heart once you saw the name on the basket and saw it was not me? Was it that heavy?
Not that heavy, no.
Can you put a number on that kind of weight?
No, you cannot.
I'm coming up with a blank. I mean, a block of pasta you could eat yourself out of would be dense.
What about lasagna? I mean, depending how it's made, that can be pretty filling. There's another name for it. There's a Italian Easter meat pie. I've only had it once.
Oh,
but it was delicious. But you can only eat a small portion. Sometimes cheesecake is like that for some people, I think.
Well, number one, cheesecake sucks.
All right. Well, okay. I don't agree.
Are you talking about like meat pies? Like in England, they have meat pies or pork pies. It is just like a tiny chicken pot pie, but just a sheer solid brick of pork or whatever.
Okay.
Which I love.
You love it, yeah. Okay.
Oh yeah. I mean, they're small. They're probably the size of whatever brownie you got. It's like a palm size thing. But it's just pure brick dense meat, and they're fantastic. I don't know if I've ever had more than one at a time. And at least they have a flaky crust where that brownie is just pure. Like that first bite is the exact same as the second bite and the third bite. Whereas at least the meat pie, you get a flaky crust to enjoy as well. Lasagna is tricky because theoretically it could be dense, but also like the layers can kind of be loosey-goosey. I talk often about the time I made one with like 15 Italian sausages, and I was like having to smush it down into the thick casserole dish, like trying to close a suitcase at the airport, like packing down all the meat and cheese.
Yeah.
That was pretty dense. But again, the density of that cookie is interesting because it's the exact same density all the way through. Or the brownie, I'm sorry, your brownie. It's kind of the exact same density all the way through to fight through.
Yeah, the Italian Easter meat pie I'm talking about is called Pizza Gain. And Gain, I think I'm pronouncing it correctly. Gain is spelled Gaina. I don't think it's Pizza Gaina. I think it's just Pizza Gain. And of course, Jerry Papandrea will correct.
Oh boy!
Can
we make it through the week without ticking Jerry off, please?
Well, that's why
I can't get any more threatening voicemails, knocks on my door.
I was scurrying to get the name before the end of the episode, so he wouldn't have to provide that in the comments.
Is it a meat pie, basically, like just a solid pie of Italian sausage?
It's got here. Let me read the ingredients to you. It's got ham. Let's see.
It's like all melded together.
Yeah, yeah, it's all melted to get together. What the hell is this?
We should have a segment here where we have 5 minutes of Jerry where he just comes on and yells at us. I was disappointed him this week. You idiots said this wrong. This is stupid.
Yeah, it's got eggs, ricotta, mozzarella, Parmigiano Reggiano, pecorino, salami, mortadella, prosciutto crudo, ham.
Nailed it.
This one doesn't have super sod in it. I think super sod is usually in it too.
Super sod.
Super sod, yeah.
What's that?
It's another Italian ham, I believe, is I guess what you call it. But Jerry's father is actually, I mean, he cures his own meats.
Really?
Yeah, and I'm actually following him on Instagram now.
Mhm.
And
His father?
Jerry's father, yeah.
He's on Instagram?
He's on Instagram.
Oh.
And he was actually showing, he made one for Easter and it looked fantastic. I told Jerry, I'm coming over. Where are you?
I mean, I don't hear you yelling at Jerry about where's a basket. Did he send you a basket?
Does Jerry co-host a radio show with me?
That's in my face, Mike. Boy, I walked right into that blizzard.
You thought you got me, right?
I thought I'd flipped the script and I thought I'd humiliated you in front of our national audience, and now I stepped in it. Hold on, I'm making a note to send you a basket to apologize for that.
Well, we'll get at least 15-minute segment on it. What qualifies for a Greg Wilson sympathy basket?
Yeah, who has to die? Let's be honest.
What does he consider the essential ingredients to cure your grief?
Is it a cheese basket? No. I mean, wouldn't you rather have somebody just send you a bunch of pizza? I mean, I'm sorry, it's true. Like, all right, it's nice. Oh, pizza and cheese and crackers. All right. But what if like 4 DeFara pizzas showed up at you? Now, wouldn't you be a little happier?
I got a Outback gift card. Hint, hint.
Yeah, I heard.
So that's another way to go.
Let me write that down. Mike wants free food. All right.
I mean, those gift cards are everywhere, right? I mean, you can't walk into a drugstore.
That's true. Yeah,
or supermarket. I mean, you don't even have to look for them anymore. They're there in your face.
Yeah, it used to be, oh, I want to get a gift card for Red Lobster. You had to go to Red Lobster. Now, yeah, you can just walk into any grocery store and they have all of them.
Yeah.
Yeah. So are we pretty much, are we just edging closer to just outright asking our audience to send you food?
No,
baskets?
not at all. I'm asking one person. I'm asking one person.
All right.
Person I do a weekly podcast with.
Which you've known for
is growing leaps and bounds. People are just telling me they're loving the show.
Yeah.
People come
are
up
they telling
to me.
you how much they're angry at me about the basket?
Well, no, not yet. Maybe this will.
Maybe this will light a fire under our audience to hate me a little more. Maybe that's all right. All right. We'll see. We'll see. I have a week to atone.
Okay.
Let me write that down. Free shit for Mike. Boom. To-do list.
You also weighed in on another controversial subject. On the best show, we did a top 50 snacks list, and I was quite angered when buttered rolls was the number one snack.
Yeah, that
which I always considered a breakfast item. But sure enough, I was at my local establishment the other evening, and a young woman requested a buttered roll. I almost fell off my stool. It just seemed so unorthodox.
To ask for a buttered roll?
At a bar, yeah, in the evening.
Oh, right. Oh, I remember that. Yeah.
And then once she received
You were horrified,
a couple pats of butter and a roll, a Kaiser roll,
right?
she requested softer butter. And that's when you weighed in
Yeah.
that you were on her side then,
Yes.
because I guess you are a softer butter sort of guy.
Yeah, well, I mean, I live and breathe and I use butter on bread. So I don't know why we got it in our heads as Americans, that we have to have keep the butter as cold and frozen as possible at all times. Like it used to be, you could set out, you stick a butter in a butter plate or whatever. It's always nice and soft, spread it whatever. You're not tearing the bread, you're not slicing your thumb off. But for some reason, we have to put all the butter in the fridge. And I'm sure there's some type of butter that if you don't put in the fridge, immediately it spoils. But I know for a fact there's plenty of butter that you can leave out. Now, of course, you want to cover it with a nice classy dish, maybe a cow or something. Thank you for your service, cow. Now you get to cover this butter in a porcelain way for me. But I don't know why that's
Yeah, a conversation did ensue as to how long you can leave butter out.
That's fair. That's fair.
When I Googled it, it said 1 to 2 days was a good amount of time. But then lots of people responded that they leave the butter out for days. You know?
Yeah. 1 to 2 days sounds like the butter company just trying to cover their ass, like in case some kid eats some spoiled, you know.
And then they blame the butter.
Yeah. I'm a fan. I mean, if you knew the thing, I mean, I've gotten pats of butter in restaurants so ice cold that I put it under my armpits to heat up. I've sat on them. It's absurd. It's ridiculous.
See, I like a nice chill on my butter. I like the butter pats over a bowl of ice.
Well, let me
Which,
ask you what
I
you're
don't-
buttering, because if I have to live with a cold, like if you throw it on top of a baked potato, it's just going to melt in a minute or two, and you can eat your burger or whatever while you wait. That's no problem. But something that's room temperature or whatever, it's no good. Even toast, right out of the toaster, no, it doesn't melt. So what are you putting ice cold butter on that you like?
Anything, I like, I don't think it's a great issue to spread, put a little more effort into spreading the chilled butter.
Is that what the problem is? I'm not putting in the effort?
Yeah. You seem to want butter to do all the work.
Yeah, well, yeah. I thought by 2023 we wouldn't have to, put so much elbow grease into spreading the butter on some toast. But I guess I was wrong about that. This generation today, thinking they just want to breeze into the kitchen, get some nice soft butter and spread it around on their everything Asiago bagel. Kids today, who do they think they are? Now, what do you think older generations did? They didn't have frozen butter.
No, they didn't.
And they're fine.
They were used to it. Yeah, they had more fortitude.
If you had, okay, Mike, I got some nice hot toast for you, and you had a pat of ice cold butter, which you claim to love, and a just room temperature pat of butter, what are you choosing?
I'm choosing the cold butter.
Before you answer, let me ask that for this question you be truthful. Don't lie. Not to me, to Jerry. Think about your answer and be honest.
The answer would be the same for a bagel. I like firm butter on a bagel. I don't want, sometimes you get the bagels right out of the oven, and they butter it, and then you get home and you've got a soggy mess. You got butter all over the place.
What are you doing? You buttering a bagel and then bringing it home? Why don't you
yeah, I don't sit in a bagel place all the time. I prefer to get my bagels and take them home.
Sorry, Queen Elizabeth. I didn't know.
So you enjoy that bagel dripping with butter?
Well, number one, sure. But two, if I did have ice cold butter and had to use it, at least a bagel does have a sturdy construction. You can kind of hack away at it. They'll be okay. Yeah. But regular bread, no chance. It just gets torn to shreds. I'm not going to butter a bagel and then drive around for 30 minutes before eating it.
Well, I think we've had the toast discussion before about Yeah, I don't toast regular bread, white bread. I'll have an English muffin. I prefer
I mean, you don't,
maybe even rye bread in a pinch.
I mean, you don't toast white bread. You
I
don't.
don't toast. I don't buy white bread. I don't keep it in the house.
All right.
You know, I
But
had
that's
my
how you eat normal, other normal pieces of bread. You toast them, but not the
yeah.
white. You just don't care for white bread.
Yeah, I had my fill when I was a kid. I mean, everything was on white bread when I was a kid growing
Yeah.
up,
Yeah.
and I kind of moved on.
Well, I went through that with, because yeah, 99% of the bread you eat when you're a kid is just whatever shitty white bread there is. I don't even think we had Wonder Bread in my house. I think that was the highfalutin name brand. We weren't. Uh, but then, so for years as an adult, because I love tuna fish, bumblebee tuna fish, I went through years of trying to find the perfect rustic, whatever bread to make my tuna fish sandwiches with. And then finally, a couple years ago, I was just like, it's Wonder Bread.
Hmm.
Just put it
Yeah,
on Wonder.
I think we discussed this before. I was shocked when I see loaves of Wonder Bread, which are becoming rare. I don't even really see them in the stores much anymore.
Uh-huh.
Your supermarkets are stocked with Wonder Bread still?
Yeah, I
Yeah,
mean,
you see it all over.
I'd have. I don't see it all over wall to wall like I come in and they're pushing it on me.
Yeah,
I feel pretty. I mean, I haven't ordered. Haven't had a grocery order in a while, but yeah, I used to get as of a year ago. I was getting Wonder Bread,
mhm.
and I have no problem popping down to Wegmans tonight, believing there will be Wonder Bread.
Okay. Well, that would be a good research for the show because
That might-
I really
all
suspect Wegmans has moved on from Wonder Bread.
right, hold
I
on.
I
I'll
think
check
most.
for Wonder Bread.
Uh-huh.
Send Mike food with a note. Got it. All right.
Um,
I
eh,
will give you proof, visual proof.
okay.
It says Wonder Bread. Now, I mean, maybe you're right in that when we were kids, it was kind of all Wonder Bread just because there just weren't that many different brands.
Yeah.
Whereas now, there's a million different brands, but I'm feeling pretty good about seeing some Wonder Bread tonight.
At Wegmans.
Sure.
Okay. Yeah, because when I see it, Wonder Bread, usually it's in like a poorly stocked
Mhm.
convenience store. It looks sad. It
Yeah.
literally looks sad.
Okay.
It's crying on the shelf
But not enough. It's
because
not
nobody's
sad enough
buying
for.
it.
It's
Nobody's
not sad
buying
enough
it
for.
anymore.
It's not sad enough for you to, give it a home.
No,
It's like a
no.
puppy at the pound.
Uh-huh.
Not sad enough, buddy. Sorry.
Yeah.
All right. But
I
yeah,
think.
I finally learned with tuna fish, it's Wonder Bread. Just get Wonder Bread, and I'm happier for it. I went through Vienna bread, artisanal, seasonal. What's the bread? Ciabatta bread? No,
Dave's Killer Bread. Have you tried Dave's Killer Bread?
isn't that you talk about a brick that's super dense?
Not a
That's
fan.
always anytime I've done it. Hey, give me a list of the top 10 breads. It's always that thing. But I've seen it before, and I pick it up, and yeah, it's like three of your brownies. Don't
It's
tell me you
good.
like.
It's good. Well, the problem with bread and being single,
Oh,
or even when it was just me and my father, two people, you get a loaf of bread, and it's you're not going to go through for a while.
yeah,
Go through it quickly, and it tends to go bad. And it's like I hate throwing food out,
yeah,
so I
fair.
kind of shy away from buying bread in general.
Yeah, that's
Um,
fair. I mean, Wonder Bread, I'm sure you could leave out for a while. I think that's part of its charm.
uh,
But yeah, that's fair.
yeah.
But I can't see you digging into some Dave's. First of all, it's like $28 a loaf. I know how hard it is to get you to part with a nickel. And bread's one of those things
Uh-huh.
I don't like to, unless it's rye bread with the caraway seeds. I don't want to look down on my bread and like see stuff in it, like
Uh-huh.
I don't know, weird seeds or onion shoots or something. I don't want to see that. It's like looking down, like I don't want to look at my mashed potatoes and be like, oh, look, different colors, great. I
Uh-huh.
don't want to see that.
Not even chunks of
Me a simple
potato. Not even chunks of potato.
chunks of potato in the
Yeah,
potato.
yeah. Do you
Well,
like
yes,
them chunky?
obviously. I like them chunky. I like them creamy. I like them
Uh-huh.
all.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's still at least potato. I don't want to see rosemary. I don't want to see. I mean, number one, good luck slipping sour cream past me. I hate when they do that. But yeah, anything, any color, anything other than potato or pepper that like I can see, I don't care for. No, thank you. I will send it back with a vicious scowl.
Okay.
Or I'll just eat it and shut up and only tip you 29%. But I'm a bit of a hard ass. So I'm surprised about you being a big fan of Dave's bread.
Well, yeah, I can't say I'm a big fan. I mean, I had it a couple of times. It was fine. Yeah, I mean, I'm not like running down here and buying it every week. No.
Mm.
But my one couple experiences with it, it was fine, you know. Definitely a step up from Wonder Bread.
Just the
But-
one step.
couple
Dave.
step, a whole flight of step, a
Sorry,
whole flight,
Dave.
a whole flight up from Wonder
I
Bread.
think you could hit somebody in the head and knock him down a flight of stairs with that bread. I can tell.
I don't know if this is going to become part of a regular feature on this show. I know we've discussed it.
Other than shaming me.
There's always, you know, some ridiculous video, viral video with some ridiculous new claim that they've rediscovered the wheel. Did you see the video about how you're supposed to cut cake?
No.
Right. Okay.
Well, yeah, I remember it was a couple years ago. I learned about the cupcake trick where you cut a cupcake and then make it a sandwich.
Oh, I
What's the
wasn't
cake trick?
aware of that one.
You have a cupcake and you cut off like the bottom third of it, like the cake part, and then you put that on top of the icing part. And then you got cake, icing, cake.
Oh, that's interesting.
Thank you, Mike.
Yeah. This is along the same lines, maybe even more simple.
Right.
They're saying that you do not cut a cake from the top down.
I don't want to hear this.
You cut the cake from the side in.
What kind of monster are you hanging out with that tells you this?
Now, this is some guy on Instagram who's got millions of followers. This is his breakthrough video. Made national.
Is there a way I can see it right now? Or
Yeah. It made national news. I mean,
you tap dance while I do a search for this idiot.
yeah. I don't know if it's called
Tap dance. I mean, talk.
cake cutting hack or something. And here's the claim it makes. It makes
Okay,
the
hold on. Is my favorite party trick cake cutting on TikTok? 27 seconds.
Could be. Is it a long-haired gent?
It's a Holy Cross sweatshirt. Strike one. Okay, this person is cutting the cake. No, she's not doing that. It's a different
No,
one.
it's a guy, long hair, maybe a little mustache.
This
can't
cake
remember.
cutting hack, does he have a woman with him?
He didn't think there was a woman in the video, but could be.
Oh, not long. I mean, how many cake cutting hacks can there be? We have reached peak millennial.
Yeah.
We're all just sitting around. I know the wine glass hack.
Yeah. What's the wine glass hack?
Where you just take a wine glass and just slap it through the cake, scoop out a piece, basically.
With a wine glass.
Wine glass. You take the wine glass and dig it in and scoop out however much you can. I like it.
Wow. Yeah, you like that?
I did it over Easter. It's fun. I mean,
All
that's
right.
where I am.
Yeah,
That's
no,
where
I
am
can
for
see
fun
that
now.
as a novelty.
Yeah.
You know, everybody can have some fun with it. Let's all stick cake in our wine glass.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, it's a party novelty.
I mean, I'm not going to do it when my normal, under my bed in the darkness, crying, eating cake.
Uh-huh.
But for like fun out and about, yeah. I did it for Easter. It's fun. The wine glass, scoop out the cake. You feel like you're Marie Antoinette or whatever. It's fun.
Really? Okay.
Yeah. I don't think I'm going to find this. There's 1,000.
Okay. Yeah, I had no idea it was that hard to find. But anyway, he
Oh,
claims.
it's not like you're accusing me. I'm just saying there's a million of these things.
I think there's something wrong with your Google.
Yeah, I don't need the thinly veiled insult. But okay, that's fine. So am I understand the cake? You're looking at the cake, and your guy takes a knife halfway up the cake on the side and just starts going east to west.
Yeah.
Oh my God. What's the purpose of that?
Well, here it is.
All right.
The claim is that it creates less crumbs.
Who cares about crumbs?
Right. Yeah, exactly.
Oh my God. Where
Yeah,
you eat
no,
this cake that you have to worry so much? You're in Buckingham Palace. Do you need to worry so much about crumbs?
let them eat crumbs.
Got to make crumbs. Like I'm fine with a couple of crumbs in my, because what if, I mean, then you're not getting all the, if it's a cake with like different layers, you're only getting some of the layers
Yeah.
of flavors.
Yeah.
And now I hope I do find this video because I'm gonna have to give a little talk to this idiot.
The thing
Now,
is,
when you saw it, did you like it? I mean,
no,
I'm
you
sitting on it.
know,
I haven't even seen it.
I I've remarked on other videos that go viral that I can't believe we reached this point where something as idiotic as that sort of catches the public's imagination to that extent.
Well, I'm fine with a cake cutting thing going viral, and it's easy for me to get wrapped up in it. But that just sounds like that just sounds stupid.
Yeah. Yeah. No, if it's a quality video, I'm not against viral videos.
Right.
I'm just against something so idiotic that somehow catches the public's imagination. And I'm thinking, what can we do, to boost Egg Foo What's brand name?
Oh,
Can we find a new way to fold sheets? Something, it's always something so simple to the point of being idiotic.
that's the beauty of it. It's always the most simple things
Yeah,
make you go, "Oh God damn it! Why didn't I think of that?"
right.
It's
You
always
got
the best.
anything like that in your pocket, ready to unleash on the world?
Well, I feel like I shot my wad with the whole egg roll burrito thing a year ago. That's the best I've come up with. I
But
mean,
you never
I did
made a
think-
video for that, though, did you?
no.
Make a video of that.
Let
That would be something.
me
We
tell you
can
something.
get that out in the world.
Let me tell you something. I did not have Mike Lisk explaining how to get a viral video going in 2023 in my WTF pool. But
Yeah.
I think you might be right. I think seems like it'd be easy enough.
Yeah,
I'm not
have your
offended this
interns set something up. You've got a couple of interns there who can help you with this.
Oh, more like shut-ins, but the chain to the radio. All right,
And
you know what? I like that idea.
yeah, doesn't have to be long.
Yeah.
Keep it short because the attention span, everybody has ADD now,
All right.
and they can't watch anything longer than 30 seconds.
Oh, now we're being ugly, Michael. Come on now. I feel bad. I didn't mean to say that thing about millennials. I like millennials. I didn't mean it that way.
Yeah, don't
But
don't
I was
scare.
just saying, I meant to say that if you're going to do a viral video, which I'm all for,
Mhm.
which is stupid to say because nobody does a viral video,
Right.
make it worth my while.
Yeah.
Now, I did come up, we had talked about Frankensteining a Egg Foo Young dish, if you remember.
Yeah, I've been thinking about that. Did you come up with one?
I think so.
Okay. What did you have?
Well, I didn't put as much thought into it as it sounds like you did, but on the walk over to my laptop. But why not do sweet and sour Egg Foo Young in that you get a patty, dip it in some well, no, I'm sorry. You get your patty and you dip it in the batter like you would sweet and sour chicken in chunks, and boom, sweet and sour Egg Foo Young. Now I wouldn't use the sauce. I would use Egg Foo Young gravy, but it's that weird texture of crust that comes with like all the sweet and sour chickens I've ever had.
Mhm.
Like it's very unique to Chinese food. That kind of clinging breading through chunks of Egg Foo Young, dipped in brown sauce.
I like this idea. I want to take it even further though,
Looking for investors.
because in one of my grief baskets, I had honey mustard in it, a
Uh-huh.
really fine honey mustard. There was I think it was this like sweet and sour relish. So I like this idea of cutting up the Egg Foo Young patty
Mhm.
and having a whole dipping sauce
Mhm.
array.
Yes.
I could see myself easily dipping it into honey mustard,
Mike Lisk, you are
ranch,
where I itch.
ranch,
Yes.
maybe even salsa. Get a
Mhm.
little cross fertilization between Mexican and
Mhm.
Chinese. You see where I'm going with this?
Michael, you are
Any
ooh,
other ideas popping?
Lawsy May. Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, I love that because I call it sweet and sour, but what I mean by that is the breading, not the sauce. So
Mhm.
I like the idea of, I'm loyal to my Egg Foo Young gravy, but you want ranch? You got ranch.
Yeah.
You want some of these crazy spicy things that people like. Get it?
Yeah.
I like that.
No, I think we have something here.
Wow.
I was thinking because another one of the items, these grief baskets were so bountiful.
Oh, are they? Where are they?
So
Wow.
much-
Having
so
trouble
much-
people carrying them into the house.
So many things.
heavy?
I didn't even mention the best caramel popcorn I think I've ever had.
Uh-huh.
It's called Moose Munch.
Uh-huh.
And I'm like, you know, this is so great. It's got to get out in the world.
Right.
I'm like, what can it's a think of a premier Cracker Jack.
I will not.
No, you can't wrap your head around.
Actually, I had a Cracker Jack a couple of weeks ago. I couldn't believe they still made them. But yeah, I got a picture of it. I'm clocking you, bro.
Okay. So picture like a very high-end caramel popcorn. What would you do with it? I mean, you could I'm thinking like, you know, I think I've complained before about how ice cream has gone nuts with sticking candy in all the ice cream. They're making deals, you know, getting Reese's Pieces in ice cream and Oreo cookie and ice cream.
Well, I had a recent fail with taco seasoning. Whenever I see or think of taco seasoning, and that is my business, I'm like, why isn't taco seasoning in everything?
Uh-huh.
So
Okay.
a couple years ago, well, I was still in Brooklyn, so back in the 40s, I was like, why don't I dump a bunch of taco seasoning in my coffee grounds? Right?
No, no, I don't. I mean, were you? What was going on with you mentally at the time? I mean,
I told you I was still living in Brooklyn.
okay.
I was still at 100 Metro. Oh,
Yeah, the warehouse, as I call it,
What's that?
the warehouse.
The warehouse.
Yeah.
Yes, you can pee on the floor. And so I thought I was brilliant and tasted it and it was awful.
Uh-huh.
And flash forward to 15 years later, last weekend, I was just like, I don't know, like once a year I'll just crave ramen noodles, like just like the old 24 nickel. I went down and got some and I was like, oh shit, you know what I should use? Because I usually only, if I use the seasoning and it comes with it, I barely use it, just a dusting. I was like, why don't I do taco seasoning? And I'm as the war is boiling. If I'm being honest, I am very pleased with myself. The back patting, the maniac congratulations were strong. And long story short, it was awful.
Okay.
I don't know why.
Yeah.
But I guess taco seasoning only really works on meat. So I don't know. I can't remember why I started talking about taco seasoning. But so far it's been a big failure. Oh, popcorn. Yeah, I was thinking, why don't we sprinkle taco seasoning? But as I said, it probably only really works for meat and stuff like that. So
Yeah. No,
you want to start with popcorn and come up with a seasoning?
Yeah, I mean that's been done. I mean,
oh, hold on, Michael. Michael,
yeah.
A ball of popcorn dipped in egg foo young gravy. Yes. Yes. Yes.
No, I'm not there. I'm not there.
Well, I remember years ago, 20 years ago maybe, because I love, like anybody, you love eating the half popcorn at the bottom. And I was like, why don't somebody figure out a way to sell these? And of course now they do.
They really do? Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, I guess they have a way to stop the full popping process. Yeah, now you can just buy it. Yeah. So what can we put on popcorn? Do we want to stick with the Chinese motif? I mean, have we not done enough for these people? Really?
I really like a Cajun seasoning. I tried recently. I don't want to mispronounce it. It's got an unorthodox name. Yeah, it's Slap Your Mama. Cajun seasoning.
You were worried you couldn't pronounce that right?
Well, I thought I was gonna say slap somebody, the wrong person. I wanted to make sure.
Slap your mama.
Yeah, it was Slap Your Mama. Yeah, mama, not your.
Oh, see, I did fuck up after all.
You
I
did
make fun
fuck
of you.
up.
Sorry. You're
See,
right.
see,
I
it
mean,
was easy to fuck up, right?
well, I don't feel like I offended anyone. I just feel like
No,
I,
you didn't offend anybody.
uh,
But we
but
like to be correct. This
yeah,
way,
that's right.
we don't have to have comments full of corrections.
Slap your mama.
Uh-huh.
All right.
And that seasoning, I put it on a chicken breast, stuck it in the air fryer for 17 minutes. It was phenomenal. I could
Ooh.
put that on anything. I could see experimenting with that Cajun seasoning on popcorn. Not caramel popcorn though.
I feel like that probably exists.
It probably does. Yeah.
What's
I mean,
something?
I didn't know about this whole half pop popcorn thing.
Yeah.
You can find that in any store. That's not some sort of specialty item.
I don't know if it's any store. I think it's probably leans towards specialty. I'm sure you can get it on Amazon or whatever.
Uh-huh.
But I've seen it in shops. Yeah, I don't know if it's, to go back to insulting Wonder Bread. I don't know if it's sold in shops that sell Wonder Bread, but I've seen it. Yeah.
I mean, I remember the arrival of Smart Food popcorn.
Oh yeah.
Do you remember? It kind of was a big sensation, if I recall correctly. I don't know about you, but I was working at a liquor store at the time, and we started carrying it. Next thing you know, we're ripping bags of that thing apart like it was going out of style.
Eyes rolling in the back of your head.
we couldn't get enough of that cheese flavored popcorn. White cheddar, white cheddar.
White cheddar. There you go.
Yeah, the
Yeah,
white
you felt like,
cheddar.
oh, this is healthier. So a couple bags of these, I'll be thin as a rail. Like Snackwells when they came out. Remember those?
Uh-huh.
I was in college, I think it is.
Snackwells.
Oh, Snackwells. A couple sleeves of these, and the pounds would just melt away.
What are they again? The name is familiar. I'm not.
Cookies.
Oh, okay.
Like I think they were like cookies, but 3 fewer calories, so you could just stuff them. And,
okay. It was like a starter pistol going off to just consume cookies at.
Right. It was like the Zima of cookies.
Yeah, Zima. Yeah, no, I was working in a liquor store when that hit. Bartles and James, the whole wine cooler sensation. I was right there on the front lines.
Front lines, Sergeant.
The front lines of the wine cooler. And where are those now? I mean, it is kind of amazing how things pop up. Everybody goes nuts for them. And then a couple years later, they're gone.
Well, now I see there's a whole industry now of bars serving, I guess, mocktails, like non-alcoholic drinks. I'm like,
well, yeah, I was just going to get to a couple of years ago, we had the root beer beer, right?
Yeah.
And that was like, I tasted it and it's like, yeah, this tastes pretty good, but I don't want to drink root beer all night,
Yeah.
If I wanted to drink root beer all night, I just get root beer.
I drink root beer.
Yeah. So why do I need the root beer flavor in my beer?
Yeah, I don't want to sound like old man screaming. I'm not, I don't want to be Gran Torino, but I feel like, I don't know that, these places are for, but as I'm shitting on them, I'm sure they're printing money. So okay. But I feel like, to get back to popcorn, I feel like any powdered substance, it's probably already been done, including my taco seasoning. I wonder what something nobody ever thought of we could do with popcorn.
Well, I don't know if this will stir your imagination, but
family podcast, Mike.
There was another viral TikTok. All the
you were deep into
innovations.
TikToks these days, Michael.
Well, yeah. Here's the thing: I'm not on TikTok, and yet TikTok will come to me. TikTok is unavoidable.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
I don't have TikTok either, but it's always.
You're always seeing the TikTok stuff. Yeah. So I don't know if you saw this. Lots of McDonald's news this week for you, Greg.
I did hear some new news today. Continue, Mike.
Okay. This is another food hack. Ooh. You go to McDonald's.
Hold on. Can I see if I can guess it?
Okay.
Is it the one if by land, two if by sea?
I don't know what that is.
Or surf and turf. It's when you get I have two guesses. It's the surf and turf, you get the McChicken. I mean, you get the Big Mac and you put a fillet of fish in it. Or you do the thing where you, at 10:30 exactly, you get a breakfast sandwich. and you mix it with a lunch sandwich.
Oh, yeah. I think I heard of the surf and turf.
Serve it
No,
down.
this is yet another one.
Okay, hit me.
This is a they're calling it fully loaded fries.
This is at
And-
McDonald's?
What's that? Yeah.
This is the McDonald's who has spent the last 70 years bragging about how great their fries are, and rightfully so. Now they're gonna start monkeying around with them.
No, this is sort of a
I'm not angry at you, Mike.
it's a fusion with KFC bowls. So somebody's taken the KFC bowls premise and moved it over to McDonald's. And
Oh, it's
what
a
you do-
hack. It's not McDonald's. Okay, okay. I'm
No,
sorry.
it's McDonald's. It's all not McDonald's foods.
Right.
So you get the McDonald's foods, then you get a bowl, and you mix it all together.
Uh-huh.
And what you mix together are large fries,
Uh-huh.
crispy chicken tenders,
Mm.
mozzarella dippers,
Ooh.
a double cheeseburger with extra pickles, sweet and sour sauce,
Mm.
and curry sauce.
Curry sauce. That's
Yeah, I didn't know McDonald's had curry sauce, or I don't know.
maybe
That's-
maybe it was over in England or something, or
I
maybe it
don't
was
know.
America.
But maybe that one you do have to get at home. But so there's photos of all these happy TikTokers with their bowl. This whole, what do you think of the whole bowl concept of just throwing stuff in a bowl, eating like an animal? I mean,
I
is
love
this
it.
where we're headed in the 21st century?
I hope so. I mean, wow. And I love Patton Oswalt, and I love his bit about the depressing bowl.
Uh-huh.
I'm sure you've heard. I have no
But
problem.
He
with
didn't see the revolution right in front of him.
Yeah, I have no problem with getting a big old bowl of mashed potatoes, chicken tenders, a little corn, a little gravy. I have no problem with that. But that doesn't sound. I mean, the thing you described is a little more zany
Okay.
than like a regular KFC bowl.
Mhm.
You're against the bowl?
I don't get it. Yeah, it just seems like you're setting yourself up for just overeating. You're just going to keep adding ingredients.
Can I counter?
Okay.
I would say you're undereating in that instead of getting an order of mashed potatoes and an order of chicken tenders and an order of corn, if they're just throwing them all together in a little bowl, you probably don't get as much of any of the items.
Okay. So
So you get to sample them.
you're talking about bowl management,
Right.
which, yeah, bowl management would be the solution.
Yeah.
But
Like,
I'm looking.
I don't think they're taking entire orders of each of those foods
Mhm.
and mix them together. I think they're taking just enough of each one that it makes sense
Uh-huh.
and mixing them together.
Oh, so you're talking from McDonald's standpoint.
Or I'm talking about I'm picturing the KFC bowl.
Okay, yeah. The
That's
the KFC bowl is bowl management, and yeah, but I'm looking at these McDonald's bowls, and they're big. It's like a couple meals, and
Well, I would guess the point, if you're doing that stuff, the point probably is to make it as crazy as possible.
Mhm. Yeah.
Which I like because my eyes roll out of my head when McDonald's has done a couple of these celebrity meals,
Mhm.
and you're like, "Ooh, it's like, oh, Charlemagne the God's personal customized McDonald's meal," and it's like, oh, a Big Mac fries and some barbecue sauce for dipping, and it's like,
Uh-huh.
my mind just explodes.
Yeah.
And it's like, all right, that's it.
Yeah.
So that's always disappointing. So I'm a little more curious about people just sitting at home coming up with crazy shit like this. I'm a fan of that. I like that.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
You
Now,
think?
you know me, I'm so picky that I probably couldn't eat half of it, but
Have you ever put together your own bowl, thinking like, yeah, you're on some sort of breakthrough? You want to just mix everything together rather than having to sit,
well, I'm not a prideful man, so I wouldn't be patting myself on the back thinking I'm reinventing food.
Uh-huh.
But I'm also not, I don't have a problem. Like you're saying somehow I'm lesser than if I'm if
Did I
you
say that?
serve
I
me.
didn't hear the words lesser than.
Well, you heard them now. So let's say I'm welcome to your house. If eventually, over the course of a couple of years, I finally break down and give you this goddamn basket you're hounding me for. And you serve me a order of mashed potatoes, some beautiful chicken nuggets, and some corn. What's the difference between me just eating it like I normally would?
Yeah.
Or just chucking it all in a bowl?
Yeah.
Mashed potatoes in particular are made for that.
Yeah, no, from an early age, I always like to, particularly on Thanksgiving, eat my corn right next to my mashed potatoes and sort of dip in and get a little of each.
Yeah.
I've been doing that since a very early age.
Yeah.
I think my grandfather passed that down to us.
Oh, is he gone too? Is that
He's
two
gone.
baskets I gotta
He's
send
gone.
now?
He's
God
gone
damn
many
it.
years
Okay.
ago.
2 orders of
Yeah.
food for
Okay.
like, but
So
I
the
feel like
other.
I feel like you're trying to shame me because I don't have a problem with the balls.
Uh-huh.
Now I don't like it. Now I didn't like it in like elementary school when kids would take their school lunches and like mash them all together and to see who could be more disgusting.
Yeah.
I didn't care for that.
No.
But in terms of let's throw some shit together with some mashed potatoes, no problem.
Mhm.
Shame.
Yeah.
Sorry, Mike. You're gonna have to find another way to shame me.
Speaking of potatoes, more McDonald's news. Yeah, we're literally doing a full length McDonald's
Well, yeah.
news brief.
I'm all for it.
Apparently, I thought I've seen this before. I saw that what makes the world's famous fries so delicious.
Right.
Have you heard this story?
It's well, partly is that they fry them twice, and there's something to do with sugar. Maybe?
Now, there's a natural beef flavor added, which
Okay. Well, they
I'm
took out
sure.
the original beef tallow 30 years ago.
Mhm.
They were fried in. So now they just inject a flavor. Is that right?
Yeah, there's some sort of beef flavor listed as an ingredient
Mhm.
on the company's U.S. menu.
So you're thinking what I'm thinking, which is how do we get our mitts on this beef flavor? I am in on that.
Actually, yeah, we get that natural beef flavor and add that to the popcorn. I don't think that's been done.
Yes.
Yeah, I think that's
I'm literally standing up and applauding.
Yeah.
That
And I'm gonna say copyright 2023 just so nobody steals our idea.
That's right.
So yeah, there was some natural beef flavor in the fries, and you just mentioned beef tallow.
Mhm.
I know you're a man who's not ashamed to admit that he's a regular moisturizer user.
That's correct.
Have you seen that beef
I
tallow?
don't rub beef tallow into my skin, but
Well, people are doing it now.
what?
Yeah, that's a thing. That's a thing.
I don't understand that.
People are moisturizing their faces with beef tallow.
Because it smells so good, or is there something about it that does make their skin better?
It's always somebody's got to get a gimmick. It's all a gimmick,
I mean, now that I've walked through the valley of shame and I'm perfectly fine slathering myself in moisturizer, I don't mind trying the beef tallow. I got no, yeah. I was gonna make I got no beef with that joke, but I think we're both above that.
No, we're above that. Yes.
Yeah.
So check it out. Check it out. Pick up some beef tallow moisturizer. I don't think it's cheap.
Writing that down too.
It's
tallow.
I don't know if
for Mike.
I don't know if the Kardashians have signed on this one.
Wow.
But it's a trend. It's out there. Beef tallow moisturizer.
I'm gonna try to find that, and I'll be honest. If I can find some, I will try it.
You will slather yourself
next week. I will slather myself.
Okay.
And try it next week. Now, I do have I didn't mean to have a beef with McDonald's. But speaking of, did you hear their latest with the Big Mac?
Yeah, that was also on the docket.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I'll let you take the lead on this one.
Oh, my big chance. Oh no. I'm frozen, deer in headlights.
Yeah.
So they just announced they're doing a big quote unquote improving the Big Mac. I forget what there's 3 things. 2 of them are more sauce, and they're gonna caramelize the onions.
Yeah.
Now, number 1, I do not care for caramel. I don't like cooked onions. I love raw onions. And part of one of the good things, because most McDonald's burgers are not great. Everything else McDonald's is great, but not the burgers. One of the best part is the raw onion.
Uh-huh.
So so of course now we can't have that. Plus, more sauce, because I've been bitching for years now. I can't believe the Big Mac is as iconic as it is, because I haven't gotten through one in my entire life without it just crumbling
Exactly.
into shreds by the end because of the sauce.
Yeah, we've had
Totally
this discussion. Yeah, I'm
Yeah,
with you
so-
on this one.
Yeah, so now they want more sauce?
Yeah, no, I can't even imagine.
No.
It's going to be a saucy mess.
Yeah. Do I want to live in that world?
No.
And then on a side note, they're like, okay, they're finally going to start selling the Big Mac sauce separately. Doesn't really appeal to me, but I'm like, all right, I get it. I don't know why they didn't think of that 40 years ago, because I do know people love that. But they're trying to, the integrity,
The integrity of the burger.
integrity of the structure of the burger has been compromised since the beginning.
Yeah.
Now they seem to want to make it worse.
Yeah.
I don't understand. I am baffled.
Uh-huh. So you're not excited by the softer, pillowy golden brown buns that they're gonna have.
Oh, is that another? That's right.
Yeah.
The buns are. I'm happy.
Softer, pillowy golden brown buns.
Yeah.
Is Mike Lindell behind this?
My high school nickname. Yeah. Lindell's behind it all. I don't know why they're.
Uh-huh.
I'm fine to try the bun. I'm out with the onions. They already had the perfect onions, and yeah, more sauce. Great.
Gooey cheese.
Gooey cheese. They need more cheese. How is this thing again? How has this thing lasted as a landmark American milestone for decades, and it has one piece of cheese? There's 3 pieces of bread and only 1 piece of cheese on the bottom. How has that happened? How has that not been public outcry for decades about this? I didn't even notice it until like 5 years ago. And I'm like, what the how's this been? I think I just assumed it had more cheese. How's this thing slid through the cracks with only 1 piece of cheese? And I don't like to feel like I don't mind feeling like a sucker when I'm fine. All right, you made a fool of me. All right. But I feel like they pulled a fast one over us for 70 years now. And I'm officially, I know they're listening. I'm calling bullshit on McDonald's. Enough of this one slice of cheese, Big Mac nonsense for $9. But before you start ruining it, making it even worse with more sauce and cooking the onions, how about letting some cheese fall on it for once? Sorry.
They say they're adjusting their grill settings for a better sear.
They need to adjust more slices of cheese on the damn thing. Adjusting the grill. Oh, after 70 years, they're like, oh, gee, maybe if we mess with the grill. Come on. All the geniuses they have in that lab every day. Oh, maybe if you turn it up a little more. Oh, Bill, you cracked it.
No, this is all PR. I mean, yeah, they're gonna. This is like free promotion, you know.
Can I add this to my list of assignments for the week?
Just like when they added non-frozen beef for the quarter pounder,
right?
Which, you know, they got me to a McDonald's for the first time in a long time.
Yeah,
and I have to admit, it's a decent burger.
Right.
That's the only burger I'll get at McDonald's. The quarter pounder.
Yes.
You might have to wait in your car for a while.
Well, I was like, gee, this is nice. But then I'm like, well, why don't they use this for all the burgers?
Exactly.
Because basically they're saying, okay, for this, we're using a roommate. But for the other burgers, we're still using the same garbage bag ground beef that the rats brought us. It's like when they say every couple of years, okay, this time for the McNuggets, we're using real meat, real white meat. That's what they do. I'm like, why don't they make it all the burgers with the quarter pounder meat?
Yeah.
Now let me add this, my growing list of projects for the week. Try the new Big Mac, slather myself in beef tallow, and buy food in a basket for Mike.
Yeah.
All right. I got 3 things now.
Okay. I forgot to mention
I
this
hope
last
McDonald's
week.
listens and does the right thing. Sorry. Sorry.
I forgot to mention this last week. I got totally confused during my Easter dinner when a waiter I won't mention how old he was because again, we're trying to avoid the battle of the generations.
Well, it helps that we're old as hell. So.
You know, I think the audience can figure out who I'm talking about.
I already apologize to millennials in this episode.
Yeah, this may have been a Gen Zer.
Yeah.
But when the waiter was taking the order, you know, I ordered a strip steak item, and he asked me what temperature I wanted it.
Huh. Were you thrown as in you thought instead of the usual rare, medium rare, he wanted a number?
Yeah, I had no idea. I'd never had a waiter ask me for the temperature. I mean, yeah, he wanted how I wanted it, but
Right.
apparently just saying, how do you want it?
Right.
Apparently the word
How
want,
would you like that? Yeah.
yeah, apparently want is too confusing to the customers. So now we're going to get more specific and ask them what temperature they want there. I was just like, I was confused. I literally was confused because I never had that question asked to me. You know, maybe it was just this one person. Maybe it's not a thing. But
yeah, I'd have been a little thrown off too. They're just opening themselves up for lawsuits because if I say I want it 74 degrees and you give it to me at 73 and I get a little, you know, boom, that's a lawsuit.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna start suing everybody. That's my thing.
73 degrees. What is that?
If I can't do
Celsius? Is that Celsius?
Celsius, that'd be like 300 degrees.
Yeah, you said 74 degrees.
Well, you know what I mean. Whatever. 160, 160 is normal. But
Yeah,
let's
it's
say
got to be up there,
160.
300s, in the 300s.
No.
Yeah, when you cook a burger or a steak.
Don't they always say like the temperature should be 165 or something? No?
I don't know. More homework.
Okay, I can't. That's yours. I got my list. I get another notepad.
But anyway, yeah, I wanted to
that
mention
is
that. I don't know if other people have had that experience. What's going on?
Open yourselves up for lawsuits.
Is this a revolution? Waiters are just having, maybe they're just goofing on people, you know? This is the highlight of his day, making some old fart confused when he asks what temperature he wants.
It worked. We're talking about
it. Yeah, it worked. It worked.
But he was an older gentleman.
No. He was a young fella.
Oh, I thought you were saying he was an older guy.
He had a man bun, you know.
Okay, enough said.
Enough said.
Got it.
Got it.
Yeah, that would throw me off, and I would sue. Since you won't let me do my comedy cover of the brilliant Chubby Checker riff from almost 20 years ago, I'll get my own lawsuits cooking. So.
Yeah. So I was reluctant to suggest a dish for this week, only because we're getting down close to the bottom. I mean, if you didn't have this childish aversion to seafood, we could probably go on for another 2 years.
Thank you, Mike.
But
that's nice of you to say that.
But I have to consider your distaste for seafood week to week, and select items that even though I know you may not like.
That's your burden. I mean,
that's my burden.
Some guys go off and fight wars.
Yeah.
And you have to try to find a dish that may not have fish in it. We all have our
mushrooms. Or goo. Well,
goo, I've learned.
Or the goo. Is it goo or goop?
Goop.
All right. Did you see the cover of Harper's Magazine this week?
No. Do I normally see the cover of Harper's Magazine?
Yeah. Do you read periodicals?
Periodicals. Listen to you. Grandma librarian.
What magazines does Greg Wilson read?
The only physical magazine I get is the New Yorker. I can't remember last time I checked out Harper's Weekly, to be honest.
Harper's is good. It's one of my favorites.
I used to like to read it. I just, to be honest, I completely forgot it existed, and I hate to say this, but I'm kind of glad you reminded me of it.
I prefer it to the New Yorker. I think the articles are more interesting.
I mean, I'm giving you a compliment right after you called me childish, so I think that's one when we go to the pearly gates. That's one in my ledger for good deeds. So what was on the cover? Goop?
Goop at sea.
What?
Yeah, Goop at sea. I don't know if this is a libel thing.
All right. Well, yeah, I was gonna say, well, I'm gonna sue these motherfuckers next. All right, Harper's, put them on my docket. Harper's Weekly.
It's an article about Gwyneth Paltrow invites you on a wellness cruise.
Uh-huh.
So apparently she's got a whole cruise thing going on where she's selling her wellness products, um, and but they use the word, goop. I'm like, oh, okay. Is this writer a listener to Egg Foo What?
Well, to be fair, I think she did name her company Goop or whatever.
Uh-huh.
But I feel like we have taken it to the next level. So I have no problem adding this to my docket of people I'm suing. And let's be honest, I got nothing against Gwyneth Paltrow. Do I will be stuck in a boat with her for 2 weeks?
Uh-huh.
No, I do not. Now, has she seen me naked? As we know from the stories past, Coyote Ugly, yes, she has. But no thanks.
Uh-huh. Well, you can sign up for this cruise and relive your
What if I
your past.
what if I did and we ran into her and she looks at and she's like, oh my God, she remembers me. What would you do?
I don't know. Yeah.
Would you be like, all right, you know what? I don't need the basket of cheese anymore. I gave you the gift of
Uh-huh.
Outro remembering me
Uh-huh.
20 years after seeing me naked.
Yeah,
I think it'd be pretty cool.
it would be.
But yeah, but yes, Harper's, I am suing you, so sorry.
So this week, I know you're not a fan of the garlic sauce, which we previously did with broccoli, one of my favorite dishes, and maybe one of your least favorite.
Mhm.
But we had to return because we're running out of items on the menu. So my Chinese place has all the different proteins with garlic sauce: chicken, beef, pork, shrimp. Mine even had scallops.
I saw that. Mine did too.
Did it?
Mine
Yeah.
had
Okay.
scallops too, which I noticed because I feel like they never pop up on other stuff, which is funny because I feel like the proteins in this are just as interchangeable as any other dish.
Yeah.
So I don't know why scallops are on
Yeah.
this.
Scallops enters the picture on this dish, and I wanted to get the scallops, but at my place it was only the $15 size, and I suggested trying to do a combo. They did not budge an inch on this, so I had to pass on the scallops. I went with the shrimp and garlic sauce.
The scallops apparently are like the quarter pounder beef of Chinese restaurants. Like it's only on this one dish.
Yeah, it's peculiar.
So you ended up with what again? I'm sorry.
I ended up going with the shrimp and garlic sauce.
Is this the real picture or why do
No,
I ask?
it's
Why do I? Jesus Christ.
why do you ask 41
I am
weeks in?
Charlie Brown with the football every week.
Uh-huh. But
I
as
got
I
the shrimp.
always explain, it's as close to my dish
Yeah.
as possible. My dish was great. I enjoyed it. Nice chunky shrimp, big the large size vegetables. It had celery, broccoli, carrots, mushrooms, and for the first time, and I'm going to put this out there when I post tomorrow, there was an unidentifiable vegetable in this dish for me. I photographed it, isolated, and I'll put it out there tomorrow.
Is this unidentifiable vegetable a finger?
On appearance, it looks like a carrot. It's sort of a orange color, but the texture, it's definitely not carrot. It's a little softer. It was in a round shape. There was watercress in this. It wasn't that.
Huh.
I don't know what leeks are. I don't know if I've ever eaten leeks.
I like long stringy pieces of like the end of shallots. Like the leafy part of a shallot, it kind of looks like that, I think.
Okay, no, it's not leeks then.
I can't believe I'm giving advice to someone else on what a leek is. And there's also no chance I'm 100% correct, but
no, it's not leeks then. I don't know what it is. I'm going to put it out there to the public tomorrow.
Yep.
And let them help me. I'm sure Jerry will weigh in within 5 seconds. And that will be that. So you went with the pork, roasted pork with garlic
Yeah.
sauce.
Yeah.
And how was the pork? It could not.
How's the pork? The pork was disgusting. This dish was disgusting to the point after last week's I was so happy with Mongolian beef. Remember how
Yeah.
happy I was?
That was only a week ago.
A week ago. Feels like a lifetime ago. Once I literally got this dish, looked at it through its plastic top,
Mhm.
and I could tell there was a lot of like vegetables and stuff in it. But I was like, okay. Now I hadn't eaten a thing all day
Oh boy.
till like 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock. So it's not like I had something in my belly to begin with.
Uh-huh.
I lifted the lid on this thing. And I literally almost puked. It was so disgusting. This waft of, I guess it's garlic sauce.
Hmm.
I almost passed out. It was so disgusting. Then I fought through that. I sent you a picture. At first glance, it looks kind of normal, but I tried to show you that there's like an inch and a half of goop just sitting at the bottom, waiting for me. Disgusting. If I somehow fight through this, again, I guess we'll call it garlic sauce or something. It was repulsive.
Wow.
And to answer your question, so I was like, all right, at least I got to try the pork itself to get a feel. The pork was just like I always gripe about the chicken. There's like slippery, rubbery little chicken fingers, chicken beaks. Disgusting.
Uh-huh.
Now, again,
Uh-huh.
they seem to have unique pork
Uh-huh.
for this dish. Like, let's get the disgusting rubber pork for this and just drench it in goop. It was sitting in an inch and a half of goop. I'm not lying. I tried to convey that in the picture.
I'm looking at the picture, and your description is more horrifying than the actual photographic evidence.
Oh, thank you, Michael. That's nice of you. Wow. I was worried I wasn't conveying the picture correctly.
Or am I? Wait, hold on. Maybe I'm looking at the no. That you didn't send. You never sent me a picture of Mongolian beef, right? No, this is today.
Today, I sent you that stuff today, the garlic.
Yeah, you got the soup.
Yeah, I sent you the soup. I got mini wonton soup. I sent you that because if you notice,
Yeah,
the noodles are
yeah,
the weird flaky
yeah.
oily kind.
You got the good noodles, the good fried noodles.
But I had to send you a third photo of the French fries because this is how many times have I blathered away about how great French fries are at Chinese restaurants?
Yeah.
They're usually crinkle cut, and they're usually fantastic. These, as you can tell, were not crinkle cut. They weren't even hot. They were like elementary public school fries.
Yeah.
And
it's in a styrofoam container, which probably they were soggy.
Soggy. I mean, I ate them because I couldn't stomach even looking at this disgusting. I'm gonna have to go. I'm gonna be honest. I thought I've been haunted by the chow mein we had. I'm gonna have to go back and try to figure out, and maybe even do a disgust off between chow mein and this garbage. I may have a disgust off.
I'll say this
just to make sure it wasn't as bad as chow mein, but I don't know who's gonna win that battle with the shit.
I'll say this: the roast pork you received is oddly shaped. It's I've never seen roast pork in those shapes.
It's like
very
strips.
thin strips. Yeah.
Picture that, but just pure rubber.
Actually, I'm wrong on that. I mean, this is almost sort of what one of my favorite dishes was the pulled pork with Peking sauce. It kind of looked like this.
Yeah.
And it was really appetizing. But you know, like I said, it doesn't look as bad as you're describing it. Well, we'll let the audience. Your vegetables are thinner than what mine.
Yeah.
I don't know if mine had onions. It looks like you got a fair amount of onions, or is that celery?
I think it's more celery than onions.
Yeah. Okay.
But I'll be honest. I don't think as brilliant as I am. To your point, as brilliant as I am.
What?
I don't think I can convey how horrifying the stench was upon opening this lid of suffering. It was disgusting.
Yeah.
So.
And then, again, is this just a random place you picked, or is this one of the places you've grown to trust?
I mean, it did have Tonight I'm in my office in the city.
Hmm.
You know, I had a nice run before where at home I went the same place 2 or 3 times. Like
Uh-huh.
the Mongolian beef was a happy surprise from
Yeah.
this, so I had to do a different place. And other than the, small wonton soup and the noodles, it was terrible.
Uh-huh.
So yeah, I'm gonna have to do some research about that chow mein we had to see who's the true loser, other than myself, in this game.
Uh-huh. Now I've continued to go to the same place that has the good fried noodles for the soup.
Yeah.
That has they've become my number one now. But here's the thing: they're not done renovating. You know, they used to they were the wider noodle
Uh-huh.
up until this week, but now they're a thinner noodle, sort of like the noodles in your photo. So
That's true.
they're still trying to get it as good as possible.
Yeah.
I mean, I like the wide fried noodle because I don't even put mine in the soup. I see you just dump the whole thing in the soup.
Sometimes I do. Sometimes I do half and half because, yeah, if they're really good like they are today,
Mhm.
I'll eat them like they're chips.
Yeah, and I dip them in the
Yeah.
what's the sauce? Not the soy, the other one. Uh,
Duck sauce.
the duck sauce. Yes.
Yeah. Whereas if
Ye-
they're just the usual kind of crappy ones, I'll just dump them in the soup so they're edible or little flavor.
Yeah.
But I would say this to Chinese restaurants out there, and I know you're listening. I'll be honest. Those noodles were so good. I will think about that next time I decide where I'm going to order from.
Yeah.
That will play a part. As
Yeah.
insignificant as it seems,
Yeah.
they will play a part.
That's my argument. A fine little detail like that, like you said, not doesn't seem like a lot, but
Oh,
it is. It is. It's a nice touch.
nice touch.
Yeah.
Even the recipe was terrible, but next time I get my little mitts flying on my Uber Eats app, I'm going to
Mm.
consider trying them again just for those noodles because they were perfect. They're everything we dream of when we dream of those noodles for soup.
And is that wonton soup? I mean, I can't see anything beyond the noodles.
Yeah, it's wonton. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. So what would you say? So did you like yours? I don't know
Oh
if you
yeah,
get.
it was good. I mean, and you know, I had soup as well. I'm gonna get another meal out of it. You know,
Ka-ching!
I ate about half of it, so I'll get 2 meals out of it.
Yeah.
And yeah, I'll give it a solid 8.
8.
Yeah, yeah, it was good.
Well, I'll say,
I'm a garlic sauce fan.
yeah,
Like I said, I mean, you know,
yeah.
I don't know, you know, how they're screwing up the garlic sauce on you, or maybe you just don't like the flavor.
Well, I
But
don't love garlic. Like I'm fine with some, like obviously you're in an Italian restaurant, you're gonna have some garlic. I like garlic, but I think once it becomes a thing, almost the entirety of the dish is probably overwhelming for me. But this was just enough. I'm not joking about this, the stench. It was
okay, yeah.
so I'm giving this whatever chow mein was, which I think was 0.0. Whatever I decide when I go back and do my research, whatever that is, plus 0.01. I feel like at least
So you actually think the broccoli with garlic sauce was preferable?
I got to give it. Well, I think my PTSD from that chow mein is such that it's built up. Maybe it's even worse.
Uh-huh.
I got to be fair and try to go kind of head to head with this. But as of right now, I'm still putting this above the chow mein, but like as thin as possible a margin, as not even humanly possible, but superhumanly possible. The thinnest of margins. So 0.01 for now. Dun, dun, dun.
Uh-huh. All right. Well, I was afraid, you know, like even when I was suggesting it to you, I had my doubts that did you have a backup meal besides the fries and the soup, or that was your backup meal?
No, yeah, that was well, I took the white rice and I just kind of dumped that in the soup and just kind of ate it all. Speaking of bowls, maybe that's my thing. I'd start drinking soup bowls with so and I still ate the fries, even though they kind of sucked. So yeah, I was fine, but yeah, total garbage on this week's.
Okay.
After last week's surprisingly good.
Yeah, no, I was glad you
Yeah.
you had a delightful dish last week, and
Yeah.
I felt bad that, I was gonna bring you down off of that high.
Well, you
Uh,
did, you should, and you did, so.
I mean, I am not surprised by this review at all.
But I will make one note that you will be pleased with. I am surprised that my whole meal was only $21. So,
Man, you're still getting creamed. I hate to break this news to you.
really?
Yeah.
All right.
That,
All right.
now that's the small garlic pork with garlic sauce. That's a small or a large?
I think it was the only offering.
Oh, all right.
I
Well,
think it was 15 and then.
oh wow, okay. Wow, that's
The
15
rest
bucks.
was only $6.
Oh
Yeah.
God.
I saw the 21 for what I thought was a lot of food, and I was like, "Ooh, Michael like this." But considering I threw away $14.99 worth of it, I guess it didn't work out for me in the end. But I'm gonna give this place another try just because of those noodles.
Yeah. Yeah, no,
And-
I got soup and a small shrimp with garlic sauce. It was under 12 bucks.
Well, I feel like an idiot bragging.
Well, no, I mean
$21 like
I don't know if this is DC prices. You're getting burned. All these places have inflated prices. Yeah, you're paying like substantially more than I am.
Mhm.
Uh,
Baller.
maybe when this show makes some money, I'll reimburse you.
That'd be nice. That'd be nice.
Yeah, and this is a good opportunity. You can sponsor us. There's a little button you can throw us a few bucks.
Can they?
Yeah, they can. It's on the Anchor and a couple of them. Even the Apple. There's a button.
How long have you kept this juicy little secret from me?
No,
Whoa,
no, I told you we're approaching. I haven't checked recently, but the last time I checked, we're approaching $100 we've made for the show.
I mean,
for all our efforts.
I'm gonna put on my
haven't-
lawsuit list, Mike list.
I don't know.
I have to have someone come and open up the books.
We made a penny per hour.
I'm gonna have to have somebody come in and open up the books, Mike.
I'll send you a screenshot.
That's good enough.
But anyway, let me move on to I have a Cheers update. I think I'm almost done with season 2, but I hit a real dopey episode. That is real.
I've fallen behind. I think I only watched 1 or 2 this week. I fell behind on my Cheers.
Okay.
I was kind of secretly hoping you'd forget to bring it up.
Well, I watched I think I'm about 3 or 4 episodes to finishing second season.
Okay, I'll finish. I'll be caught up next.
Maybe this episode you'll remember this episode.
Projects.
Coach, just apparently he can just order things for the bar willy-nilly. It's not his bar, but he's gonna go buy stuff. So he buys
picking up on the editorializing.
He buys a scale. You remember this episode?
Oh, that gives out fortunes?
That gives out fortunes, yes.
All right. No good?
It was dumb. I mean, the whole premise of him buying the thing is like, well, how did he pay for it? He's just ordering stuff and Sam doesn't even know?
He's on TV. He's got money. He's loaded.
So yeah, so it spits out these fortunes, and of course, every patron in the bar is like kids at a candy store with this stupid scale. Carla goes nuts because she's very superstitious.
Very superstitious, yes.
Yes, and I didn't know that until this episode. Is this going to be a continuing?
Yes, she's very. I'm surprised it took this long. Yeah, she's very superstitious.
Okay, so. Yeah, it may have cropped up before, but not as much as in this episode. She goes nuts. She thinks the scale is haunted, and I don't know. It was just so dopey. I'm like, oh boy.
So it's just stupid. So maybe what you should do is provide a service wherein you set up you have this stupid episode, but you produce an episode to go before where you explain how Coach saves up the money to buy the scale. We see Coach doing deposits, the bottles for the nickels. Coach is going around picking up trash and selling it.
Yeah.
Coach is doing whatever coach needs to do to get cash for that. Because otherwise you'll feel stupid if he just shows up with it. You should do that with every episode. This is stupid, but for a fee, Mike Lisk will produce an episode leading up to it to explain it. See? There you go.
Well, I think it's explained in the episode that he ordered that out of a catalog or something.
You just talked yourself out of $1 billion idea.
No,
Mike. Way to go.
yeah.
Thanks.
No, I don't think the world needs that.
Right.
I mean,
Yeah, I'll definitely. I remember that one.
uh,
I don't remember it being. I mean, of course, it's a little goofy and stupid because
Yeah.
of course you're right,
right.
but I don't. Yeah, I'll be caught up this week. I'll have to give special attention to that one.
Yeah, and I think we had gotten a little bit of a break from the constant Sam and Diane dynamic, but then at the end of this episode, they have one of their, I guess, never-ending spats,
Yeah.
and they're breaking up, and who's breaking up first, and that whole routine.
The last one I saw a couple days ago is the old timer leaves them $100,000, and they,
Yeah.
of course, they tear each other apart, how to split it up, and
Yeah.
Sam thinks he's gotten away with keeping it, but he ends up, not. So that's the.
That was okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
That was tolerable.
Okay, well, good for Cheers. Cheers. Mike Lisk thought this episode was, and I quote, tolerable. Nice.
Yeah.
Not
We'll pick up. I didn't get to watch the movie where we picked another movie.
Really? I had notes.
Yeah, well,
prepare anything.
You'll
I
save
had a
them.
list of questions prepared for this.
Yeah, well, I got surprised. I had to do some errands this morning, so I would have watched it this morning, but I had to do some other things.
I hate to be this person, but did you
Okay.
get the assignment this morning? How long have you known about this?
The assignment? What assignment is that?
I mean, look, I know. Just say you're still working through the grief. What can I say? So I'm bummed. I have like 10 questions ready to go. So that's your assignment for the week.
And I am going to have to lay out some cash. Apparently, this movie isn't streaming.
Oh,
So
really?
It's going to be like $4, $3, something like that.
Well, take that out of the pile of gold doubloons you've been sitting on. My counsel will be very curious.
The kitty fund.
Yeah, my team of lawyers will be very curious to open the books up to take a look.
And if people want to watch along, tell them what movie we're doing next.
We're watching the third part of the Cornetto trilogy. Did I say that right? Simon Pegg's classic, The World's End, which, I have to be honest, was a little, I don't know. I always thought that was the weaker of the three.
Mm-hmm.
Hot Fuzz, by me, is heads and shoulders above the Shaun of the Dead one and this one. This one was a little better than I remembered it, but I had a lot of questions with my beady little eyeballs rolling out of my head that I was hoping to pummel you with.
Yeah, I mean, I wasn't even aware of this. I was aware of the first two. I saw those two because they got a lot of buzz.
Yeah.
I don't remember this one getting any buzz at all.
Yeah.
And yet the storyline appeals to me. It's a bar crawl, right?
Right.
Yeah. So that appeals to me.
And you'll like it that they, like real people in a bar, they do get drunk. So you'll be fun with that. So I'm bummed you didn't watch it. I was all ready to go.
No, I'm gonna watch it. I want to go through it with you.
Hot Fuzz is definitely the best. I think most people like Shaun of the Dead more than me. I just don't think zombies do it for me in any way.
What my knock against, what's his name, the director?
The director is Edgar Wright.
Edgar Wright, yes.
Simon Pegg and him wrote it. Simon Pegg.
Yeah, the two of them. Yeah, they're like a team, right?
Yeah.
But
Frost is always in their stuff.
I see them as like spin-offs from Tarantino. With one of the things I really don't like is jokey violence. I understand it's just a movie. I get that. But I don't like movies that just like set up violent scenes for a cheap laugh. I just find that kind of
that's
dehumanizing.
That's interesting because that actually helps me because I can vent one of my questions because it won't be a spoiler. One of my beefs with this is I understand what you're saying. I'm not a fan of violence, but at least when it's as comical as this is supposed to be, you can kind of take it. Like Tarantino, his violence it's pure, it really is violence. It's absurd sometimes, but it isn't supposed to be quote unquote comedy.
Yeah.
Whereas this one had way too many scenes where the fights go on and on.
Really?
And
Oh,
on.
wow. Okay. So I thought actually this might be one of his that isn't that violent, but he found a new way to get the violence in anyway.
There's a bunch of fight scenes that just I'm like I started skipping through them because I mean, can we just have a note card say, and then they fought for the next 7 minutes
Oh
and
God.
then get back to the movie. I don't know if it was filler because by the end they're at the end of this trilogy. I don't know if they're
Let me guess, the slow motion, stop action.
not even
No,
just
no.
pure. Here they are fighting for 10 minutes at a time. It reminded me of my one ding on Ratatouille is how many of these chaotic, crazy Remy's trying to cross the street in traffic and it's chaotic and cars are honking. One too many scenes of that. In this, that's one of my beef. I'm glad I get to unload this without giving away any of the movie. So that if I had some advice, you can knock off 10 or 15 minutes by once a bar fight starts up, just skip through it. You know, you're not gonna, you know what's happening, just skip through it. I don't know why they did it. But it was actually more enjoyable to watch than I remembered.
Oh, you rewatched it. Okay.
Yeah. Oh, well, I did because I thought that's what we were doing.
Well,
We're good at this podcast.
well,
Apparently,
you bought this, you bought it, right? So you have it on your computer. Or
I have the whole trilogy, bro.
Okay.
I mean, I don't want to throw in your face, but yeah, things are good.
I'll say this about bar fights. I mean, the bar fights I've seen, and fortunately, I've never been a part of, but the ones I've seen, they're as pathetic as you can imagine. They're usually over almost as soon as they start.
Oh,
I mean, I saw two guys, both of my age. This was a few years ago, so like in their 50s, and it literally looked like they were fighting in slow motion. You know, it's like, you know, I'm like looking at it, and that was comical. You know, so the only time I saw violence that was comical was these two guys, too old to be fighting in a bar, and just like barely raising their arms and connecting. It was ridiculous.
I spent some of my youth getting myself into some bar fights, and I have a feeling that if I had video to look back on, it'd be a lot of that, me like standing, like slowly moving, thinking at the time I'm this whirling dervish of putting up the dukes and wailing on somebody. And actually it's probably a lot of just like standing and swinging and missing. Just like I look back on high school football as like this blur of violence and anger and rage. And all of a sudden one day, like 10 years ago, video of one of my games, which is amazing because it was in the 30s, pop up. I'm like, oh man, this is gonna be something. And it was like 4 seconds of activity, and then like a lot of standing around with their hands on our hips, looking around at each other. So I have a feeling that's what a lot of these bar fights would look like if I could see
you weren't fighting in bars in Williamsburg, were you?
Where else was I fighting? Was I going?
I don't know. I thought this was like you know, your real young days. And
well, I was real young then, Mike. Jesus.
Yeah, I know you were young, but I mean, I thought you were sensible enough to not to get into fight with hipsters. You were getting in fights with hipsters?
No, not with hipsters, please.
Oh, no.
That's a joke. I also don't beat up women and children.
How many guys were wearing white belts that you got into a bar fight with?
96. No, you know, like I would just, you know, I'm deep in my cuffs and I get dragged in and again, I'm sure it was a lot of what I thought was, you know.
Well, I know that's that part of you, but so you actually bump into people who are the violent drunks, and then they don't like your responses.
I guess so. Yeah. I'm not a starter.
No. Okay.
I haven't gotten in one in like 20 years.
All right. So you were provoked by more violent people.
I would just find myself getting dragged into them, and then, you know, just and then 2 seconds later I'm back at the bar with my container.
So you never got seriously injured, or?
Oh, I got pun. Yeah, I had some black eyes, but
Really? Wow.
I got put in a sleeper hold.
Sleeper hold.
But yeah, I got a couple of black eyes. But yeah, nothing. Again, at the time, I'm sure it was like, oh, this male rage, and I'm sure if I saw a video, I'd be embarrassed at how silly it looked. So
Did most of these take place in the Turkey's Nest or
all of them probably did. Yes.
in
Yeah.
Turkey's Nest? Wow. Glad I
Those,
wasn't there
those
for
were the
that.
days.
Glad I wasn't there for that. Was I a calming influence? So like when I was around, you
Yeah, sometimes we'd be like, look, Mike's here. Let's not do this. Let's be respectful. But no, those days are I'd say they're long behind me, but that makes it sound like I was a brave warrior on that front.
uh-huh.
No, I was just a drunken idiot that, now I know better. If anything starts happening, I just scurry out squealing, running away. So
I actually went to a place the other day. Thought I'd try a burger at a different place, not too far away. And, the food was fine. But the vibe I was just getting in this place was just a real negative vibe. And I'm like, what the hell am I doing here? Then a guy rolls in, probably around my age. He looked like he just rolled out of bed. He's got the white t-shirt going on. And he's mouthing the words to Alice in Chains song, Rooster. I'm like, boy, I got to get out of here. I just I'm not feeling this. I just got to, I mean, you've been sober like what, over a year now?
yeah,
Yeah.
I wouldn't call it, so it's not a life change or anything, but
But I mean, do you feel your energy is
about
high?
white shirts.
What's that?
What are you asking me?
No, do you feel just physically better, do you think, overall? No?
No, I haven't had a drink in a year and a half, and I somehow managed to not lose a single pound or feel better.
Well, yeah, the Chinese food probably isn't helping, but
Look, I didn't want to blame you, but it is what it is. That's part of my lawsuit.
uh-huh.
But I want to get to the bottom of what is it with you and these white t-shirts? You seem to, what happened to you, buddy?
I don't know. I mean,
That's Uncle Greggy.
No, I remember you were a fan of the white t-shirts, but I don't know. It just seems like, you can't get another t-shirt to go out in public. I mean, it just seems like you're half undressed. Like the white t-shirt is for like if you're wearing a nice shirt, you don't want to sweat through your shirt. So to go out in it, it's just like you like put in like even zero effort. I don't know. Personal. Maybe it reminds me a little bit of one of our old buddies, Ricky Hustle.
Oh, you really are pleasing me tonight, Michael. Whoa,
Ricky Hustle was a guy, a co-worker of mine, where Greg didn't work there, but he was there all the time. It was
I was the mayor.
He was trying
unpaid.
to pull a. Didn't Kramer do that? Right, just start showing up at an office and
showing up at an office.
Yeah,
I don't even work here. That's what makes this so difficult.
So Greg was way ahead of Kramer on that. I think you were doing that before Kramer. I don't know.
Yeah.
But anyway, there was a co-worker, Ricky Hustle. Yep. I mean, he would take it wasn't even a white shirt, but it was a net shirt.
Ugh.
And it was almost transparent. It was becoming transparent.
That's
and he would wear it every day. There was no, he didn't even have a t-shirt cycle that he could, 5 t-shirts for the week.
Like a mesh shirt? Oh my God. I've never.
It wasn't mesh, but it just from wear and tear, it was becoming, like I said, translucent, just from body grease.
Oh, I see. Okay.
That shirt doesn't ring a bell. You don't recall that shirt?
On Ricky Hustle?
Yeah.
I was never focusing on the shirt with him. Focusing on the screaming.
the unrepressed anger.
Yeah.
Just that guy was oozing anger. I mean, he was, we had one incident, right? We went out, and speaking of bar fights, he got into it with our buddy. I still don't remember. I think it was maybe one of the dumbest. I wish I could remember it, but I've lost the.
Was it at that Thursday night $10 all you can drink bar?
it was at a bar with tables and chairs. There was a big group of us. And I just remember the screeching of the chairs as this, it wasn't really another monumental bar fight.
Mhm.
But it was over something really ridiculous.
Yeah.
But yeah, lots of anger. He was a musician, right? Wasn't he?
Curb Dog. Curb
Well,
Dog. Didn't I send you, didn't I dig up that website a couple months ago? Did I send it to you? Or will?
maybe. And
Oh,
he was
maybe.
doing wedding receptions and everything. I mean, I think he was a talented person.
I mean, I can't imagine being in his band, just getting screamed at the entire
Was it
time.
his band? It seemed like these
played
wedding
bass.
bands, it's
He
like a
played
huge
bass.
band.
Yeah, I mean, they had a website. I think they were putting out music. He played bass. I'm gonna redig it up for you. Don't worry about it. I got you, Mike.
Okay.
Well, but this is the one assignment I will sprint to tonight.
Uh-huh. Did you get a fortune cookie?
Let me put a bow on the movie though. Simon Pegg. You like Simon Pegg because he does have everything he does had a slight absurdist quality to it.
Yeah, yeah.
And he did a show it started in '99. He was him and Jessica Hines, who went on, she was in the Royal Family.
Uh-huh.
They did a show called Spaced, which is really, really good.
Not to be confused with Jessica Hahn.
No, different lady. Jessica Hines, who has been in a bunch of great British sitcoms. She's written a bunch of them. She's fantastic. And she and him created and wrote Spaced. It's a little goofy. It's got a little surrealness to it, but it's not a great show. That's really good, and I recommend it. If you like Simon Pegg at all, I recommend it. Spaced.
Okay.
Yes. Not only I didn't get a fortune cookie. Once again, I got two.
Oh, okay. So you're back. You're good for a couple weeks then. You got.
Well, do I do I have to choose and then see if I chose correctly again?
Yeah, you can do that.
All right. You got one?
Yeah, it's a good time to finish up old tasks.
You've already opened yours?
Yeah.
I like to do the dramatic sprinkling.
I thought I did that.
The audience is on the edge of their seats.
Uh-huh.
Damn it, Mike. All right,
People who were paying attention heard it.
Oh, I'm not one of them. That's going on my docket. That's going on my insult. I'm sorry, say yours again.
A good time to finish up old tasks, which as soon as I read it, I'm like, oh, okay. They must be thinking of, I've got some brush that I have to take out to the curb.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I'm going to finish that up.
Yeah, that's a terrible fortune. Yeah, that might as well say you've got yard work coming up.
Get to it.
Jesus. Mine is it's blowing my mind a little bit, young Michael.
Okay.
Welcome the change coming soon into your life.
There you go.
What do we think that is?
I think that's when we make $100 and I send you a check for 50.
First of all, don't be sending me a check.
You can't cash a check.
If you want our young people to make fun of us, start throwing around checks.
I know, I understand. I hear even Venmo's out there. Some new one. It's like,
I got.
What do we got? We got to jump to a new one every year.
Let me put it to you this way.
What's the new one? It's not Venmo's out, right?
I use Venmo.
Oh, but now you're an old fogey. There's some new one.
There's Zelle.
Zelle, that's the one.
That's not a new one.
I don't know. First time I'm hearing it. It's the first time I'm hearing it.
Oh, that makes it new.
Well, I mean, why can't we just settle on one?
Let me tell you something. Once my guys come in and open up the books and see how much money really is sitting there, I'll have them walk you through how to transfer it to me in the year 2023. It doesn't involve a horse.
Okay.
Let me open my second one. I don't know why I went for months without getting one. Now I keep getting two. But again, do I want to open door number 2?
It's your call. You can save it for next week when you won't get one.
I've opened up the package, but I really like that fortune. Welcome to change coming. God damn it. Well, I've opened the packet. I have to open it now. But now I'm gambling and it's going to be better, but it's probably going to be worse. I'm screwing myself. God damn it. I hate myself. Congratulations. You have yard work to do tonight. Oh, wait, hold on. There we go. Remember, 1 month from this date, good things are in store for you. What? hold on.
May
This is two
19th,
good
which is
fortunes that are like, hey, some of the good's coming.
uh-huh,
I've never seen one give a definite date
a
like that.
specific date. Yeah.
1 month from this date. So that puts us at May 19th. Wow.
My father's birthday,
Here we go. All
just
right.
as a reminder.
All right. I'll get you the goddamn bag. Christ.
Uh-huh.
All right. Well, these are two good fortunes, one of which is curiously specific. Wow. And your father's birthday.
Yeah.
Which he would have been 90?
He would have been 90 on May 19th.
that
Yeah.
right?
He just missed out. Yeah.
Am I putting you on the spot? You don't know the year your father was born?
No, I do. He would have been 90.
Hello?
Yeah, I'm here.
Did I lose you?
No.
Oh. He would be 90 next month?
He would have been 90 on May 19th. Yes.
All right. Well, maybe that's the,
Yeah.
all right. Well, I look forward to this super amazing stuff that's about to happen to me. And I want to hear all about that hard yard work you're gonna be doing.
I'll let you know.
All right.
Meanwhile, people can hit that subscribe button,
Yeah.
and we're over 200. We made that milestone. Let's
That's on
get to
YouTube.
let's get to 500.
That's just on YouTube, right?
That's on YouTube. Yeah, people listen all over. You can listen wherever you want.
Yeah. Yeah, everybody hit that subscribe, hit that like, send us all the money you have, whatever you want to do. And Mike, I enjoyed it, and we'll see everybody next week.
Take care.